Gundam Evolution has a problem, a Barbatos problem. Now, I'm sure you're like, yes, Dunmere, thank you for talking about how broken it is. And that's not actually what this video is about. I will discuss it too, but that's not what it's about. The issue really is that it is inherently broken because it has a one-shot potential. It has the charge May slam into longsword combo. Now, people might say like, oh, well, that's not that big of a deal. Like, you just play around it and yeah, sometimes you get killed, but kills happen in Gundam Evolution. Yes, but what that does is it inherently breaks balance. When you have a one-shot, it's either oriented in a way that the better you get, the easier it is to achieve, or it is oriented in a way where the worse your players you're playing against, the easier it is for you to do. So what that essentially does is it dichotomizes things, it pushes it to two sides. So either it's, on the really high rank easy or really on the low rank really easy. So for an example, just to show you, the GM Sniper will be one of the ones that has a one-shot capability that is really easy when you get to high ranks. Clicking on heads at a high rank when you're really like mechanically good at the game with your aim is really easy. It's just like a joke easy. Like top players always complain about it because it's so easy. And because of that, you're oppressed playing against that character and they have to like, you literally have to trade like your main tank on your team to hunt it down and try and make its life hell so that you can actually play the game, right? It's oppressive. But on the other side of things, the way that Barbatos is designed is, granted, right now it's broken, so we're talking about like if it's balanced properly, right? Which you, like I said, you can't even do that, but whatever. If it's not as strong, the easier the enemies you're playing against are, the worse the enemies you're playing against are, the easier it is to kill them because they won't have people paying attention to you, they won't have people holding cooldowns to stop you, and they won't be positioned properly. So you get easy one-shot kills, and that is not fun to play against. We here at the Dunmere channel have a philosophy of make the game fun for everyone. And I know that seems kind of hard, but it's not if you just stop designing characters like this. Make characters that scale perfectly, like Pale Rider, like Sazabi, like even RX-78 Gun. Like most of the mobile suits in this game are good, like don't get me wrong, I'm pretty happy with how things are going. But these characters that don't scale properly, like, as you get better, they get way better, or as you get worse, they get way worse. They're, it causes issues, right? So, or, as they get worse, they get better, stuff like that. So, because they don't want to play against it at low rank, they can't stop it. So what happens is they try and solve this issue by nerfing the character. They nerf Barbatos, and what they won't, if they don't ever nerf the one-shot combo, and when I say nerf, I mean like take it out of the game, it won't solve the problem. Because yeah, they could reduce its movement, they could like, give it 2 dashes only, they could make its jump cooldown on a longer thing, they could reduce its melee damage, it still will have that one-shot combo, and it will still be played because of that. And while it might happen a little bit less frequently, you're still going to be like toddling around the map, just playing Gundam Evolution because you're done with your day of work and you want to just have some fun on Pale Rider and just go click on some heads, and then all of a sudden a Barbatos is just slamming you into the floor and then jumping on top of your body afterwards. And not fun, right? Not fun. That's the point. It needs to be fun, guys. And yeah, it's fun for the Barbatos players, kind of, but they can have fun with something else too. So they can have fun with a character that's not a one-shot character. It'll still be fun. We'll make it fun, And basically, like I said, they nerf it, but they won't nerf the right thing. And in Overwatch, I have evidence of this, so I'm not just going and pulling things out of nowhere. Doomfist had the same sort of thing. It had a one-shot combo, which is really good against lower tier players and really bad against high tier players. Because high tier players knew if you just went stun characters, if you just found him and poked him out before he engaged, he couldn't do anything, right? If you were an Ana and you held onto your sleep dart, if you were Brigitte and you held onto your bash, if you were a Wrecking Ball and you went and chased down Doomfist and shot him in the face and knocked him down to half his HP, he can't go in. And that's that. Bye-bye Doomfist, no more one-shot, right? And so what they did, regardless of this, though, is they nerfed him. So the Doomfist players at the top of the ladder were like, yo, bro, why do they keep nerfing my character, man? I just want to play this guy who jumps in and uppercuts people and slams them around, right? Because to play the Doomfist at a high level, you had to not just go for the one-shot combo. You would go for your slam into uppercut into shots and get a lot of damage out of primary fire. But they would just nerf those things instead of nerfing the punch that they weren't even using. So their character kept getting worse and worse and worse and worse. And people would be like, oh, Doomfist is broken, Doomfist is broken. Doomfist isn't broken. The one-shot combo is inherently broken. It's weak, but the one-shot combo is inherently broken because it's not fun to play against. Because all of a sudden you hear some dude just yelling, and then he punches you into a wall and kills you. It's not enjoyable. So where does that bring us back to Barbatos? Barbatos doesn't have the same issue that GM Sniper does. With GM Sniper that I, also kind of don't want in the game, but it's here and we'll never change it, is because Barbatos' one-shot is not a part of its identity. You could have Barbatos without a one-shot and it would be perfectly fine. It would make plenty of sense, right? You could even delve in, you could have the same general playstyle even. With GM Sniper, if it doesn't headshot, then what is it? It's not a sniper anymore, You have to be able to one-shot in GM Sniper for it to be GM Sniper. But they can't take that away. However, they can take Barbatos' away. So, what are we going to do about this? Ooh, I just slapped my mic. Sorry, guys. So what are we going to do that here with, uniting all of ourselves together and solving all of our problems as we complain out into the void? We are going to remove the one-shot capability and we're going to buff other things. So I have a couple different options. The first one is the simple option that I would kind of anticipate them doing is increase the mace swing damage, so your primary fire damage, and give it a small range buff, and then get rid of the one-shot combo. So exactly how they do that would be kind of up to them. Maybe they make it so one of the slams, like, they could even make it so, like, really, ideally, they just make it so the slams can't stun. Maybe they just have knockback on them or something like that. And that's a really simple option. That's not the big option that we're looking for here that we want to see. What I personally want, because I think it'd be fun, is for them to make a Barbatos tanky. Sound good? No? Okay, well, hear me out. If they give Barbatos 1200 HP, they could do something like turn the slam ability into like a forward cone stun. Like, not like a super hard stun, but like a soft, like, root for like a, like a quarter of a second kind of thing. Yeah, and then make it like a range-based thing, right? So if you hit right on top of someone, you do more damage. And you can do like a healthy amount of damage from it. But you could also be used to deal damage to groups of enemies too. Pretty nice. And then the fun thing, now I'm taking a little bit of a Doomfist inspiration here, which I don't think is bad, is to make it get more shields or armor in this game based on how much damage it does. So if you're in the thick of things, playing really well, hitting your cooldowns, primary firing a lot, you're going to get a little bit of extra armor. And not like anything oppressive or anything, but enough that you can sustain yourself as like a brawler tanky kind of thing. Right? And then what you would do is you would reduce the longsword damage and make it like an AoE knockback around Barbatos. So this allows Barbatos basically some standard tanking abilities. You could hit a soft stun into a group that walked through a choke. You could hit your AoE knockback ability, the longsword slam, right in the middle of an enemy as they walk through a choke point, push them away from each other, brawl against one of these other tanks like Sazabi, because you'd be able to hit through his shield, and against the melee Zaku. And it also allows the character to displace enemies while still having the capability to frag, because you don't really ever want to take that away, especially in this game where every character is like a hybrid, like, damage, tank, damage, support, damage. That's what this game is, by the way. And then it gives you the frag, makes it like have an actual, purpose other than just I one shot and then run away and laugh as you cry. And it removes the tilting one shot combo. So, you guys like it so far? Let's send this directly to Bandai, right? So then the other option, which would probably fit more into what the Barbatos players would want, is to make it a really mechanical based character. So remove the stuns entirely, buff the damage on the primary fire, and exactly what they do kind of depends, but make it something like a little bit of an Exia that can not stun through, like doesn't have stuns, and potentially has like maybe a little bit more displacement on it, but something just similar to that, essentially. Like obviously it's another option as a flanker. And yeah, so for me personally, I like the option 2 the most, the one where you turn Barbatos into a tank. Not a tank, but tanky. Because you could basically have it be something like Wrecking Ball in Overwatch, but minus all the garbage. You minus all like the stalling forever, being annoying. You'd have this character that could tank by displacing enemies a little bit, stunning them in chokes, like just flanking behind them and then diving in and slamming and dealing damage, right? But I think, like, just imagine, you know, you fly in from a rooftop, charge up your slam, you hit it, and it's like, whoever you hit, it pulls them in a little bit, kind of like a Wrecking Ball slam. I think that'd be really, really cool. Now, there is a fourth option, which is we could just make it a healer, which, okay, we're not doing that at all, actually. I mean, you know, why would they ever turn a character that is, you know, designed to murder and kill and be excessively powerful and put that in the game as a healer? They definitely wouldn't do that, ever. You know. All right, guys, that's it for the video. So, yeah, tank Barbatos, right? No one-shots. If you're looking for some more Gundam Evolution videos, then make sure to check out my mobile suit guides. I made one for all original to 14 mobile suits, and I did a Should You Main Guide series also, covering the same mobile suits and talking about whether you should actually main them in Gundam Evolution or not.